Hey all, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Monday, which around these parts is countdown day here on the channel. And today's topic, as voted on by fans all across social media, is actually derived from last week's topic. Last week's topic was about spacefaring alt modes. Well, this week's is the top 10 Transformers that are the least robots in disguise of our favorite robots in disguise. What exactly do I mean by that? Well, you'll see when we jump into the latest GotBot Counts Down. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, man, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby. And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton and it lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I am either a mod or an admin for, as well as all my social media links, all of that in the description down below. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon, see what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube. Again, all of that down in the description. And this is the top 10 Transformers that are the least robots in disguise. We all know that the premise of Transformers is that you have these alien robots who blend into our society by taking alt modes that hide their true existence so that the people of Earth don't know that they're here and blah blah blah. And we all know that sometimes that works and sometimes that doesn't. Well, the thought came up, especially since we were looking at spacefaring alt modes, which Transformers are like the most conspicuous? They stick out the most like a sore thumb. They are, indeed, the least robots in disguise. And there were a lot of votes. In our honorable mentions, we have Transformers Prime Predaking. When you turn into a dragon, that's pretty conspicuous and people are going to notice. G1 Scorponok. Largely because even as like his base mode, he has thrusters that allow him to lift off and kind of be like a ship, so like a flying green and purple city, pretty conspicuous. Astro Train, which I found interesting, but the idea is that, you know, besides for being a huge alien robot, he's also a space shuttle that isn't a typical colored space shuttle. When have you ever seen a space shuttle that is gray and purple? And then his other alt mode is like a steam locomotive, which even in the 80s, as somebody pointed out, would have been an antique. I don't know if that was true or not, but that was the justification for the vote. Repugnus, dude turns into a monster. Now, some people said the monster bots. Look, I say this every week, and I don't know why I need to keep saying it every single week. Unless I ask for groups, I need specific character names. Groups are too general for the list. So when I would ask for a specific name, I got Repugnus. And Cloudbreaker and Fastlane, they kind of tied for a position in the honorable mentions. None of them, man, made the countdown. None of them are in the top 10. So who did? Well, you know what we're going to do, baby? We are going to start off with number 10 first. Well, kicking us off at number 10 is a perfect example of a character that I had to ask for specifically after a bunch of people voted for a general group. And a general group cannot go counted properly because guess what? Not all members of a group are created equal. In fact, with this particular group, one character stood out and got the most votes from this group. I'm talking about the Insecticons, and more specifically, I'm talking about Scrapnel. Comes in at number 10. The justification, again, being a huge black and purple robotic insect that is metallic and can shoot lasers. It's pretty conspicuous and sort of really stands out. And indeed it does. Even in G1 when they first show up, like they are kind of seen as monsters and they kind of terrify humans that don't understand what they are. They do not fit in. A lot of people, like I said the Insecticons. I said that's too general. I need a specific name. And while there was one or two for Kickback, one for Bombshell, pretty much everybody, when I said I need a specific name, said Shrapnel. And for that reason, he takes the number 10 slot. Now, number 9 is the only character that I have on the list here who I have in his alt mode. Because it's his alt mode that specifically stands out. They're all going to stand out because they're big, giant alien robots. That's a given. But Sometimes you select, or Teletrans selects for you, whatever, an alt mode that, you know what, people are going to take notice of anyway. Case in point with the leader of the aerial bots, Silverbolt, who is a Concorde. Even if people don't know the kind of models and types of different planes, like if you don't know the difference of a 727 and a 747, I know I don't, pretty much everybody knows what the Concorde looks like. It is perhaps the most iconic body design of any plane ever in existence, quite possibly, right down to the bend in the nose being well known. You see the Concorde flying, then you're going to pay attention, you're going to take notice, and if you see a giant robot underneath, you're probably going to take even more notice. For that reason, Silverbolt takes the number 9 slot. Coming in at number 8 is a character that I really thought was going to go higher once the vote started. I'm going to show the character, and I'm going to say 3 words, and that's all we're going to do for number 8, because that's all number 8 needs. Who is it? It is Skybite. And the 3 words, flying robotic shark. For number 7, I actually don't have a representation yet, though I do have one on order. It is going to be the oddity known as Transmutate. On the program, Transmutate in Beast Wars did not even have an alt mode. Kind of coming up in the Kingdom line, or the Selects line I should say, the Transmutate that we are getting there is a reuse of Paleotrex that will turn into a dinosaur. I don't know if anybody will really turn Transmutate into anything. I guess we will wait and see. An oddity of a little robot that didn't even look like other robots. An oddity in terms of personality, had a personality unlike any other character before or since, and an oddity in that if there was an alt mode, we don't even know what it was. Transmutate stood out from the crowd in any and all aspects of its sad existence. For that reason, Transmutate takes the number 7 slot. Now, number 6 takes us into our first foray into the land of giants here with a character who has 3 modes. And every single one of them sticks out like a sore thumb. I'm talking about, this big boy, Trypticon. His base mode. It looks very alien. It doesn't even look like something that would be man-made or built, so it stands out. Maybe he doesn't stand out as much when he's a giant spaceship. Wait, he's a giant alien spaceship then. Maybe his robot mode doesn't stand out too much. Except that he's a gigantic dinosaur that's also a robot. Plus he's loud, he is clumsy, he's destructive, he's boisterous. Nothing subtle about Trypticon. Nothing has him fit in anywhere. He is the most sore thumb sticking out of all the sore thumbs. And that's why he took the number 6 slot. Ah, yes, and here we are once again at that most magical of locations, the halfway mark. And at the halfway mark, we actually have another Titan entry, and this one is a little more subtle. Honestly, I think Trypticon should have been, personally speaking, I think Trypticon should have been higher on the list, but the votes are the way the votes are. And coming in at number 5, the next Titan that I'm talking about is, this big boy, Omega Supreme. And the reason for Omega Supreme is kind of twofold. It doesn't actually have to do with his robot mode, even though that is gigantic. A lot of people said really one of 2 reasons. The first is because generally he is like this shuttle base with a giant shuttle and a tank that like guards the perimeter, usually out in the desert. Why would there be this base like that out in the desert? It's not even like there's a fence up around it with barbed wire or anything. It's just a base that's there. Then some people also said, not only that, but if he actually flies, like if the shuttle actually flies, when it lands, all of a sudden, you know, from out of nowhere, all of these other parts kind of come in to create a base for it to land. Like, people would see that coming. Or, if it's on another planet, any other alien race would see that coming because the base wasn't there 5 minutes ago and now it suddenly is. And it's gigantic at that. For that reason, Omega Supreme takes the number 5 slot. Number 4 actually shares a lot of attributes with Trypticon, in that both kind of modes of this character really sort of stick out like a sore thumb. Who am I talking about? Skylynx. Here's the justifications given. His robot mode, unlike any other robot mode, much like Trypticon's, there's nothing really like Skylynx, and what do you even really define this guy as? Let's go to his alt mode. On the one hand, I almost lost my notes there. On the one hand, we have a space shuttle. A space shuttle is always noticeable. In fact, a lot of launches have even been like televised over the years and whatnot. A shuttle's going to stand out. But even more than that, half of this guy is like a payload, is, you know, really a rectangular brick cube thing. If that was just on the ground, if that was even under a shuttle, guaranteed everybody would want to know what it is and what's inside of it. If you bring questions and curiosity to yourself in both your alt mode and your robot mode, then you're going to kind of stick out and be very much a robot that is not in disguise. Skylynx fits the bill, and he came in at the number 4 slot. Number 3 is none other than the Chaos Bringer himself, Unicron. Why is he here? Dude's a planet. Dude's a planet that moves rather swiftly. Dude's a planet that eats other planets. Dude's a planet with horns. Dude's a planet with rings. The only planet that we know realistically with rings in our solar system, or at least that I know of, is Saturn. So it's unique in and of itself. Everything about Unicron screams not blending in, screams not being in disguise. The guy comes on the scene and everybody knows who it is. For that reason, he takes the number 3 slot. You know when you're not a very good robot in disguise? When somebody says to you, look, you're a giant alien robot, somebody is going to want to take you and do experiments on you and figure out how you work. We better get you a mode to hide in, a secret mode. I know what we'll do. We'll make you a UFO, because the scientists, you know, they're not interested in getting UFOs to study, right? Right. Yeah. Obviously, number 2 is our good buddy Cosmos. I mean, there's nothing to say. His colors are bright and they stand out. His robot mode is, again, a robot like all of them. And his alt mode is perhaps one of the greatest mysteries and one of the greatest things that humanity is always trying to learn about. Guaranteed this guy would be picked up by some sort of a military force somewhere to be studied somehow. For that reason, he is definitely not in disguise and takes the number 2 slot. And then that brings us to number 1. And number 1 really sort of ties in a little bit with one of the characters that was on the countdown earlier. As a matter of fact, this character is a fan favorite, and I have to believe that he took number 1 because he is a fan favorite. I'm talking about Grimlock. Now, a couple of caveats here. First, a lot of people said Grimlock is not subtle and he doesn't hide anyway. Secondly, they said he is a giant dinosaur, a giant metal dinosaur, who's also kind of clumsy. Whether you're talking about Grimlock in The Last Night, whether you're talking about G1 Grimlock, or what most people said, RID 2015 Grimlock, he's a gigantic metal dinosaur in the modern age. In fact, in RID 2015, it was an ongoing kind of joke that he doesn't blend in, that his alt mode just doesn't blend in, and we have to try and hide Grimlock. When you have an alt mode that's supposed to be your robots in disguise, and your entire team is saying, we still need to hide you, then it's not a very good disguise, and you probably are the least robot in disguise. And there you have it, 10 down to 1 as voted on by all of you guys out there. I think that some of them could have been rearranged if I was doing my own personal list. Like, I really feel like Trypticon could probably make a run for number 1, but the votes are what the votes are. Who else got votes from the fandom? Hunger got some votes. The Fallen got some votes. Shockwave got some votes. Zetar, Chromar, Aragon all got votes. Transformers Prime Ripclaw got some votes. RID 2001 Megatron and RID 2001 Galvatron got some votes. Orthea, Magnaboss, who else? Slammer, 6 Gun, God Bomber. That was a good one. That was actually a good one. Who else got some votes here? Dinobot Strafe. Even out of the Dinobots, that thing had 2 heads. What else did we get here? Black Zarek had some votes. Squeeze Play had some votes. Who else? The Ark had some votes. Brainstorm had some votes. And let's see. Let's throw in, just for one more sake here, Top Spin. I get it for Top Spin as well. So there you go. We've done it once again, 10 down to 1. I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you are in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course hit the join button right here on YouTube to become a channel member, baby. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button, stick around, have some fun with us. Don't forget that somehow, someway, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference. And I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit, either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, baby, right here inside the videos.